All right. Private cloud is a trap. It's not something typical enterprises should be thinking about building. When I say typical enterprises, I mean 99% of us. If you're not looking to do a capital one in which you re-platform every application within your environment, including your mainframe apps, your legacy client server apps, private cloud doesn't make much sense. Let's define private cloud. The NIST definition of private cloud has 5 attributes. On-demand self-service, which, we are always striving to get customers to be able to do things for themselves. Broad network access, which, we have 100 gigabit service to the data center now. Resource pooling, VMware, vSphere, KVM, OpenShift. We've been doing this again for decades. It's these last 2 attributes that I take issue with. Rapid elasticity, this idea that you have infinite resources and you're able to scale up and scale down as your application needs. And measured services, meaning that you pay per use, pay by database, pay by VM, by each individual primitive of your data center services. The private data center just doesn't operate in these last 2 characteristics of private cloud, and they are by far the most difficult to implement. This idea that I have elastic or infinite capacity in being able to shift demand of my infrastructure just on the fly. We don't have the financial models for that. We don't have the software and the operations to charge back our business units for that. And we don't want to build it. It has very limited business value to be able to do that. If we have these needs, the public cloud is there to serve our needs if our data strategy will allow for it. And then lastly, this idea of measured services, that I'm going to charge back my business user for the amount of disk space that they use, the amount of CPU, the amount of RAM, the amount of network per instance. We're just not going to build that out. There's no business value in doing that. IT, whether it's centralized or distributed, is not a revenue generating model, and there's just not the driver to disrupt the business operations from a procurement and chargeback perspective for that. The other point is that we can't keep pace with the innovation that happens in the public cloud. Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, Google, Alibaba are all incentivized to build better abstractions because they're looking to capture more of the technology dollar. Our motivation is to optimize technology for the business. As my friend David Lithicum likes to say, IT's job is to return value back to the business. Building private clouds typically does not return value back to the business. It is best to allow the public cloud providers to enable that type of elastic use case, and for us to put these services inside of the data center like a VMware vSphere, a Kubernetes, a OpenShift that support modern application architectures while also supporting our legacy apps. So I'm not saying don't support modern apps. I'm saying that building a private cloud, fool's errand.